What's going on, guys, and welcome to the official 2025 channel update here on WrestleRant. I'm Graham Giason Matthews. Hope you guys are doing well and having a great week. I did mention in the community tab, which, by the way, if you're not already paying attention to that here on the channel, please do so for future updates, polls, kind of just letting you guys know what's coming up, what I may not be doing as far as live streams go. So definitely pay attention to the community tab. I mentioned like a week or two ago because I had mentioned like, oh yeah, we're starting a new series and we're premiering it this day. I'll probably have an official channel update up sometime this week. That was last week or 2 weeks ago, so we're finally doing it now. But I thought I would give you guys a rundown of pretty much everything you can expect to see on the channel. Channel changes, channel updates, what's going away, what's coming in, what I would like to start doing at some point. What you've probably noticed, though, if you have been subscribed since the beginning of 2025, which was only 3 weeks ago, obviously, you probably noticed we're doing a lot more video stuff. We're doing a lot more live streams. And that was kind of a goal of mine coming into 2025 was to do something different. And it wasn't like a overnight decision as far as, all right, this is what I want to do less of, this is what I want to do more of. I had been batting around the idea for a while of what we could do differently here on the channel. Not only just to see what works and what doesn't work, but purely for my own enjoyment. So, for example, and this wasn't, again, a quick decision, but towards the end of 2024, and I'm going to be all over the place here, by the way. Towards the end of 2024, the WWE Network and Chill Raw Talk reviews, SmackDown Lowdown reviews that we've been doing here on the channel routinely for the last 5 years. I never missed an episode of review unless they didn't do one. I had mentioned I probably won't be doing those anymore going into 2025. I didn't really see the point. The shows had kind of become a chore to watch and review. And I'd been doing it for so long, I feel like a part of me does have OCD and where I feel like I have to watch. If I start something, I have to finish it. And they brought it back in 2020 and I wanted to watch the shows and review them. As it turned out, I didn't even have to make that decision. I was going to make that decision regardless and not review Raw Talk and SmackDown Lowdown in 2025. But as it turned out, I didn't have to make that decision because WWE canceled those shows anyway. I think starting at the very beginning of 2025 with that first 3 hour SmackDown, they didn't do a SmackDown Lowdown that night. It used to air on Saturday mornings. They thankfully moved it a few months ago to Friday nights after SmackDown, which would make it easier for me to watch and then review and put it up the next day or on Sunday, whatever. And they ended up canceling SmackDown Lowdown. Raw Talk also went away. Raw Talk, it's funny because Raw is now shorter than it was. It was 2 hours for a little while, but for the last number of years, it's been 3 hours, obviously. And they would do Raw Talk live after Raw. They don't even do that anymore. They did have a SmackDown, maybe they had a SmackDown post show. They definitely had a Raw pre and post show for that first Raw Netflix show. And they haven't even done that anymore, which honestly is totally fine by me. The shows are long enough. We do not need Raw Talk anymore. We don't need SmackDown Lowdown anymore. All due respect to Scott Stanford, Megan Morant, Sam Roberts, who all did a great job, Matt Camp, everyone that's been a part of that show or those shows for the last number of years. So, long story short, as you probably noticed, no more Raw and SmackDown Lowdown reviews here on the channel. Not only because they're not doing it anymore, but even if they were, I didn't really want to review and watch them anymore. WWE Network and Chill, I might bring back. As a show itself, I couldn't really review any more shows on the network. First of all, because the network is no more. And second of all, because they haven't really done original content on Peacock in a very long time. They would have the occasional documentary. They did the Damian Priest 24 documentary. They did the Cody Rhodes documentary about a year and a half ago. But beyond those annual documentaries that they do, the Bray Wyatt one as well, they don't really have original content on Peacock, Netflix, WWE Network, whatever that is anymore. I don't even really think it technically exists at this point. They don't do that sort of stuff anymore. So if I do have a review of a documentary that they do on whether it be Peacock or whatever, it would probably just be on the channel here as a WrestleRant review as opposed to being WWE Network and Chill. So you can go back and watch all the WWE Network and Chill videos that will be branded as such here on the channel in a playlist. Obviously, just go to the homepage. I try to have everything organized. I'm going to try to have an overhaul rather, of the homepage here on the channel where you can easily find everything. That would include the WWE Network and Chill content. So, WWE Network and Chill is no more. But in its place, I'm trying to bring in a lot more videos that you guys can watch. Some different stuff, some things I think you guys might enjoy, including WrestleRant Ranks. You probably noticed in the last couple weeks I've done 3 episodes so far on Mondays, and that's the new permanent day for the show. WrestleRant Ranks is basically my way of doing a tier list or a ranking of really whatever I see fit. So that first week, 3 weeks ago, when we first did the initial inaugural episode, it was me ranking every Raw theme song in history, and I made that tier list, but it's on tierlistmaker.com. It's in the description box of that video if you want to do it yourself. I thought that was a fun way to ring in the new era of Raw on Netflix. Last week, what was it last week? Oh, the top 10 greatest auras in NXT history. Again, a random idea that came to me. That was a slideshow slash ranking here on the channel. Also, video. I'm in the video, like in the corner, obviously. So we're trying to do more video stuff here in 2025, including that. In this past week, it was the top 5 forgotten foes of Penta that I would like to see him face again in WWE. And I've enjoyed doing those. I'm still kind of trying to figure out the formula, and I'm probably going to do one next week on the Royal Rumble. I'm a tier list of some sort. So if you like the tier list thing from a couple weeks ago, we're probably going to go back to that this coming Monday. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, doing more video stuff is kind of my goal. So moving away from network and chill, and even if I were to do a network and chill in the future or like a review of a documentary, I might be on video for it. Just because I feel like more people can relate to that and enjoy that sort of stuff. So WrestleRant Ranks does have me in the corner. That's a new permanent Monday show here on the channel. We did obviously move hashtag AskGSM from Wednesdays to Tuesdays. For the first time in almost a decade, the show has changed days. We started doing the show back in 2013 as a permanent fixture on Mondays. For a few years, it was a Monday show for anyone that's been subscribed long enough for the last decade plus. We know that we were doing the show on Mondays before Raw for a very long time. And it wasn't until SmackDown moved to Tuesdays in 2016, I thought it would make more sense to start doing the show on Wednesdays. But now with the channel changes and whatnot, I've officially moved it to Tuesdays. And I feel like the timing works out better too. It frees up my schedule a little bit more. But not only that, we could do it right after Raw on Monday night. Not on Monday nights, but like after Raw wraps up on a Monday night, you can come chat with me and everyone else in the chat on Tuesday mornings and around noon, by the way, for the live streams. They kind of go live. I've been trying to plan to have them go live around 11, 12, 1 p.m. Eastern time, so just a heads up on that. But we can recap Raw, answer awesome questions. Obviously, keep sending in those questions in advance. But if you're live and you're free, either at work or at home or whatever you might be doing on a random Tuesday afternoon, grab your lunch and chat with us. We had a 3-hour episode yesterday. I was not intending for it to go that long, but we were having so much fun, we kept it going. So hashtag AskGSM, still going strong, now on Tuesdays. So enjoy, not only on Tuesdays, but we're going live for the show every single week. Unless there's a week where I can't do it, or I'm not around, or it has to be pushed earlier or later or whatever. Hashtag AskGSM now live every single week. And I know that was something we were talking about a while ago, maybe live once a month. I figured, fuck it, it also makes it easier for me to process the videos and do all that sort of stuff when I could just do it live and have it up on the channel immediately, as opposed to recording it, editing it, uploading it, doing all that sort of stuff. It's a lot easier for me, at least if the episode's on the shorter side and not 3 hours. It's a lot easier for me to process the video. It saves me a lot of time. So honestly, it's a convenience thing, but it's also an enjoyment thing as well, as far as people chiming in live, sending in questions, and doing that sort of stuff. So that's on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays and Sundays, as you probably have noticed, hashtag GSM for GM, my WWE 2K gameplay videos, breaking down my GM mode and doing that sort of stuff. Still no video on that end. That would be more difficult for me. It's just more time consuming, and I don't really see it as being necessary. Obviously, you could still hear me, at least on the videos where the audio isn't fucked up, which I'm still working on with the live streams, by the way. We've had some audio issues. I'm still kind of working through that to see what works, what doesn't, what equipment I need, blah, blah, blah. But for the 2K24 GM videos, you still won't be able to see me. Those are among the few videos here on the channel going forward where there will be no video. But those are going to be going up Wednesdays and Sundays. They were originally going up Mondays and Fridays. But the thing was, with the way that it was uploading content, there really wasn't a set day for certain stuff. I would try to have the videos go up on Fridays, but with certain things happening, I would be busy. I would be up late editing or posting. You would see videos go up at fucking midnight. I'm trying not to have that happen anymore. So if we can move stuff closer, like earlier on in the day, it makes it a whole lot easier for me. So a lot of this stuff is pre-recorded. I could put it up a lot earlier in the day for you guys to enjoy, not have to wait until the following day. We would have like full episodes of WrestleRant Radio up days after we recorded it, which is why now, for the first time in a very long time, WrestleRant Radio is live every single Thursday. Now, I used to do the show live in my college campus over a decade ago, But it was never live here on the channel. I would put the episodes up. I didn't even really start putting up full episodes of WrestleRant Radio here on the channel until like years later. But now you don't even have to wait months, years, not even days. I would put it up a couple days after the fact, as of a year or two ago. But now we're going live every single Thursday, also on camera. When Mr. Marceau can join me, which is usually most of the time, he'll be on the phone chatting with me, talking all the latest news and rumors and reports in the world of wrestling, also reviewing Raw, doing pay-per-view predictions, and just kind of shooting the shit live while we talk on YouTube. So not only is WrestleRant Radio live for the first time in many, many years, it's live for the first time ever here on the channel on Thursdays. So it's also still available on all your favorite podcast platforms, Apple iTunes, Spotify, all those usual podcast platforms you might be using or prefer to use. You can still find the show there. It does get pushed out to those platforms after we initially go live here on YouTube. So if you want to get the show first and watch what we have to say and join in on the chat, and I usually read 99% of the chats as they come in. It does get a bit, distracting for me, but that's my problem as far as I enjoy you guys interacting and whatnot. And that's one of the key components I want to emphasize here in the channel going forward is that interactive element. Send in chats, send in questions. We've already done a lot of that with the hashtag AskGSM stuff, but now we can do it live and you guys can join me as we do it. So that's on Thursdays. Fridays, WrestleRant Radio excerpts. So typically in the past, which was a lot of work for me on Thursdays, we would record WrestleRant Radio in audio form only, as we ever have. We've never done it on video. WrestleRant Radio has only really ever been, aside from maybe one or two exceptions, in audio show. But we would record the show, I would edit the show, I would post the show to the platforms, and then have it go up in video form, or like the video audio version, whatever you want to call it, here in the channel days later, have the excerpts up that same day. It was very time consuming. It was very stressful to have it up in time and shit like that. No longer, with the show now going live first, you'll get the excerpts of the show on Fridays. I'll try to space them out, not have them go up at the same time. One might go up at noon Eastern Time, the other one might go up at 4 Eastern Time. I might sometimes have them go up at the same time in case I can't get them done earlier on in the day, depending on my schedule. But the excerpts of the show, if you don't really want to watch the full stream or listen to the full episode, you can get some of the biggest talking points from that WrestleRant Radio on Friday in audio form, which we've always done here on the channel for the past 12 years, but now they just go up a day after the show is posted here on the channel as opposed to the same day. Saturdays is my live SmackDown review. So we've been doing SmackDown reviews here on the channel for the past 5+ years, since SmackDown moved to Fridays on Fox, just because we would talk SmackDown on WrestleRant Radio years ago. But now that we've been doing WrestleRant Radio on Thursdays for the past number of years, I didn't want to have to move the day of that show again. So SmackDown, by the time we get to WrestleRant Radio the following week, is usually irrelevant. So I still want to review SmackDown, which we've done for the last 5 years. But now, for the first time ever, my SmackDown reviews will be live here on the channel as they have been in recent weeks. So again, around 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturdays, Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons, you can join me to review the show, give your thoughts on the show. We could talk about it, preview the following week, and maybe talk about the pay-per-view coming up later that day. The only exception to when I don't know if I'll be able to do one of those, I likely won't, will be Royal Rumble weekend. I'll be at the Royal Rumble next weekend, so there probably won't be a SmackDown live stream on Saturday. I might have other content up instead that I captured that weekend doing interviews and stuff like that, so keep an eye out for that sort of stuff. Interviews will still go up once in a while, stuff like that, obviously, which you guys are used to here on the channel. All the other random content that you've been accustomed to here on the channel will still be up. Old videos, old interviews, classic content, stuff like that will be up really whenever I see fit, and I can edit it, have it go up and shit like that. But that's really the schedule. So quick recap here. WrestleRant ranks on Mondays, Tuesdays, hashtag AskGSM, Wednesdays and Sundays, hashtag GSM4GM. Thursdays are WrestleRant Radio live, hashtag AskGSM is also live on Tuesdays. Friday is the WrestleRant Radio excerpts. Saturday, SmackDown Live review. In the weeks where I can't do a SmackDown Live review, you'll probably get other content here up on the channel. And then Sundays, as I mentioned before, hashtag GSM4GM. So you're still getting content every single day. So if you're watching this video, haven't already subscribed, please do so. We're trying to do more live streams, more video stuff, different concepts for WrestleRant ranks and stuff like that. A couple other housekeeping things I do want to mention before we go, before we head out here. First of all, get a t-shirt, WrestleRant t-shirt available right now in a couple different places. ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestleRant. If that's too much to remember, it's down in the description box. It's also available at WrestleRant.com. Click on the store option. It'll take you right to the store where you can buy this shirt. You can buy a Christmas shirt, a WrestleRant Christmas shirt, that is, a WrestleRant Halloween shirt. A lot of different options to choose from. So that's number one. Number two, as far as content going forward here on the channel, and I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything here, I do want to try out different stuff as far as things that you guys haven't seen before here on the channel. That would include quick show and movie reviews. I've done that sort of stuff here on the channel before, I guess, but not really on a regular basis, at least not in a long time. So I'm going to try to do more shorts with like a quick review of my thoughts on Squid Game Season 2, Marvel's What If Season 3, and any shows I might be watching, like The Punisher from years ago and shit like that. I might pop in with a quick movie review of something I just saw. What was it the other day? What did I watch? I watched 65 last night, that dinosaur movie that came out a couple years ago. I saw Mufasa a couple of weeks ago. Like shit like that I can do a quick review of here on the channel in a short form, in the form of a short, and you guys can give me your thoughts on that. So it may not be necessarily wrestling related. I would like to do non-wrestling related stuff, and that would probably be it. Like my thoughts on Brave New World, new Captain America movie coming out. It might be a news thing, like, oh, a Marvel, news, Star Wars news, whatever. I can give my thoughts on Skeleton Crew, which I probably still will do at some point, but I want to do those on a semi-regular basis, not every day, but maybe once a week. Thoughts on movies and shows that I might be watching. As far as going forward, stuff that you will start to see here on the channel at some point. I did mention this many months ago. This was right after I got my new laptop, which has been a fucking game changer as far as allowing me to do a lot of cool stuff, do it quickly, do more content, do stuff that you guys want to see and whatever. Channel memberships. So I know a lot of channels do it. I've never really been comfortable doing like a Patreon type thing. This would obviously be a version of that, but it would be a lot cheaper than a Patreon, I would think. And it also would include stuff that I feel like you guys would probably want to see in video form here on the channel. Now we have to be careful of like copyright strikes and stuff like that. But I'm talking when we talk channel memberships, it wouldn't just be classic content and getting certain content early, and also ad free. I've heard that's an option for stuff you could do on channel membership. So ad-free content, getting videos early, like the hashtag GSM for GM videos and stuff like that, but also new series. So WrestleRant Rewind, where I go back and review an old pay-per-view. I know I used to do that here on the channel many years ago. I don't really have the time to devote doing it now every single week, going back and watching an old pay-per-view or an old Raw or a SmackDown or whatever. I thought it would be cool, since we don't do it currently here on the channel, we can bring it back for channel members. And again, it's not currently set up, so you can't sign up for it right now. But if we bring back or if we start doing channel memberships, I might be able to bring back WrestleRant Rewind, where we watch an old show either together. We could do watch along live streams. That's another option that we were batting around in hashtag AskGSM's live stream yesterday, talking about doing live streams and watch alongs during Raw or SmackDown or a pay per view. I don't know if I would do it for like as a regular channel thing, but for people that are willing to support the channel a little bit more, you could do so by signing up for a membership and checking out the watch along live streams, checking out the WrestleRant Rewind videos I just mentioned, where you can recommend to me what video or what wrestling show rather, or what Raw or SmackDown or pay-per-view AEW show, whatever the fuck it might be. You want me to watch and review? I can do it, and I can do it for you personally as a channel member. And that would also include badges in the chat and whatever, which is also cool. Wrestle Rant and Rave was another option I was thinking of, as far as you give me a topic, do I rant on it or do I rave about it? Or maybe a little bit of both. And I got a couple different ideas already for stuff I might do, for shit I want to get off my chest, for maybe hot takes. And I see a lot of channels do that sort of thing. I want to get in on that as well, because we kind of do that already with other, hashtag AskGSM. I'll go on a rant about something. WrestleRant Radio, I'll go on a rant about something. Why not devote an entire series to that sort of thing and give my hot takes on a lot of shit that's going on in the world of wrestling? So that's another option. WrestleRant Retro, which is kind of the same thing as WrestleRant Rewind, but a little bit different, though. I would look back at old articles that I did, looking back at old articles and thinking to myself, why the fuck did I write that? As far as like lists that I've done and predictions that I made, to see how well, like, did it age well over time? It's kind of hard to explain just saying it out loud, but when we start doing it down the road, maybe it's something I can experiment with. Looking at, like, for example, there was an article I wrote years ago. X people I thought would be all elite. Some of those people were all elite, some of those people were definitely not. So I think looking at that sort of stuff would be interesting. That's another channel free or a channel membership exclusive you could look forward to at some point. I want to try that. WrestleRant Recall, just telling stories. I know that sort of stuff might sound boring, but for those that might be interested, we could do that sort of stuff. Maybe vlogs. That would probably just be on the regular channel and not for channel membership. So I'm just bullshitting here. There's just a lot of stuff I'm considering, a lot of different content I would like to try, a lot of different content I want to experiment with, but there's only so much time in the day. So, for all the content that you're already getting here on the channel currently and have for the last number of weeks, none of that would necessarily be going away, aside from Network and Chill, but that was always going to go away anyway. Beyond that, everything else will be free for anyone already subscribed. I appreciate your support for the last year, few months, 5 years, 10 years, 10 years plus, however long you've been subscribed here to the channel. Your support is amazingly appreciated. If you want to support the channel that much more, you can sign up for said channel membership when I do get them up and going at some point, and check out any of the stuff I just mentioned that would be, extra that I would be doing in addition to everything I'm already doing on the channel. So I think I mentioned everything there. I know I've been rambling now for 20 minutes. We haven't done these face-to-face videos. I used to do the random video blogs here on the channel every single week. A long time ago, for long-time subscribers, you might know what I'm talking about. We did those every week for like 4 or 5 years, and I enjoy the camera stuff. But I moved away from it because it was just more convenient. But now it's easier for me to do it. My laptop is more, it's easier to work with. I had my old laptop and my previous laptops were not conducive to this sort of thing. They would heat up, they would fucking turn off. It wasn't great. The new laptop I've had for the last couple of months has been working awesome. I upped the specs. Obviously more money, but it was well worth the investment, and it's been working out amazingly well so far, specifically for the live streams and doing video shit and shit like this. So it's been cool. Let me know. I mean, moreover than anything else, let me know what you guys want to see here on the channel. Whether it be here in the comments, whether it be in the community tab, hitting me up on social media, X, Facebook, whatever. Let me know, and maybe we could try it. So that's really the big thing. I just wanted to tap in here, see how you guys were doing, see how you're liking the channel content so far. I've heard from a number of people. Easy for me to say. I've heard from a number of people so far that are liking the live streams and that interactive element. I want to be able to do more of that, whether it be the live streams or taking a topic or a show that you want me to talk about or review and doing it here on the channel. That's kind of my goal here for 2025 and beyond. And what you're seeing already now is merely the beginning of what we're going to be trying to do more of going forward in the future. Getting shit up sooner, doing it every single day, not missing a day. You're still getting content every single day. There's not a lot of wrestling channels I can think of that do it every single day. I know there's a few, but a lot of those channels just kind of do the same thing. Whether it just be reaction streams or news, we're doing everything. We're doing gameplay. We're doing interviews. We're doing Q&As. We're doing live streams. We're doing a little bit of everything for you guys to enjoy. So again, I'll end my rambling. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. Now, then, forever, as WWE would say. I very much appreciate it. And there's a lot more stuff you can continue to enjoy and look forward to in the weeks and months ahead. So if you haven't already, like I said, check out the t-shirt store, prowrestlingtees.com/WrestleRant. Get yourself a shirt. Check out all the content here on the channel we already have up and will be up soon enough. And just have an awesome rest of your week. Enjoy Royal Rumble season. That's coming up next week, and I will be there, like I said. So any content I do film while I'm there should be up probably, relatively soon after it's recorded. So if it's interviews I'm doing on Friday, I'm hoping to have it up either later that day or on Saturday. And like I said earlier, with my new laptop, it's just a lot easier than it previously was to do that sort of stuff. But anyway, guys, enough of this. I got to get going. I know you guys got to get going. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews. Thank you so much for your support, as always, and I'll catch your ass down the road.